We'll see when it comes to election day. I think, the rocky rollout was more to do with stuff that he said in the past. Since he's actually been named the pick, I mean, look at any of his performance, look at interviews. I think any objective person said he's been lights out. He's been amazing. Even some of his skeptics, right on the right of center, not on the left, but on the right of center, have said, like, look, he really is crushing these interviews, and he is. I think ultimately this will be a great benefit for him going forward.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with commentary editor Conn Carroll. Conn, J.D. Vance is still under scrutiny by Democrats. This time for a foreword he wrote for a Heritage Foundation paper a few years ago, in which he just cites research that shows the macro benefits of children being raised in two-parent households. And the New York Times apparently took offense to this.
Yes, well, this all stems from comments he made earlier about single cat ladies, and so now the entire Democratic apparatus is dredging up anything related to marriage whatsoever to attack J.D. Vance with. So this is 2017. It's not just one paper; it's a collection of papers. So many years ago, Heritage Foundation started the Index of Economic Freedom, which measured economic freedom around the world. Since then, they've done a whole bunch of other indexes. This one is the Index of Culture and Opportunity. So this looks at the United States and kind of tracks how culture and opportunity are spreading or not spreading, or growing or not growing in the United States. So they do it literally every year. And one year, 2017, they asked J.D. Vance to write the introduction for it. And, this is a very mild, not super controversial introduction. But the New York Times makes it seem like it's the Handmaid's Tale. When literally all he does is cite research from Harvard University, no less, showing that economic mobility has declined overall in the United States, which is bad, which seems to be something Democrats often say. But it actually is doing a lot more and succeeding in neighborhoods and communities where marriage is thriving. The point being that where marriage has fallen behind, where there is less marriage, there is less economic mobility, but that economic mobility is still alive in communities where marriage is strong. This would seem to be a uncontroversial point. But the New York Times, because they are so invested in promoting alternative lifestyles like polyamory, they have a new polyamory article every other week, they just find anything that asserts that the nuclear family, mother, father, child, to be offensive.
After the childless cat ladies dust up with J.D. Vance and Tim Walz's sort of comparatively rocky VP rollout, that there still seems to be new information about Walz's
every day
colored history with honesty coming out. Do you think that J.D. Vance is looking more and more like a smart pick from Trump in the longer run? Because so far he does seem to be consistently on message and often, out in front in the media.
We'll see when it comes to election day. I think, the rocky rollout was more to do with stuff that he said in the past. Since he's actually been named the pick, I mean, look at any of his performance, look at interviews. I think any objective person said he's been lights out. He's been amazing. Even some of his skeptics, right on the right of center, not on the left, but on the right of center, have said, like, look, he really is crushing these interviews, and he is. I think ultimately this will be a great benefit for him going forward.
Harris's claims of being from Oakland, California, your hometown, are
Yes.
also under scrutiny. And you wrote on Twitter and in a forthcoming piece in the Examiner that you take pride in being from the current mess of Oklahoma, California.
Oakland.
Can't even say it. Clearly from the East Coast. So tell us about all this.
Sure. So Kamala did not live in Oakland until very much later in her life, until after she graduated from college and law school, actually. She was born in an Oakland hospital, but her parents at the time were both Berkeley students. So they both lived in Berkeley. Then they, because of their academic careers, they ended up in Madison, Wisconsin, Urbana, Illinois, Evanston, Illinois, so a bunch of different college towns, none of which are Oakland, California. Then they got divorced. Her mom moved back to Berkeley, California, where she is. So again, Berkeley, not Oakland. And her father at the same time actually was in Palo Alto, California, which is across the bay, and of course is where Stanford is from. So again, if she's from anywhere, it's the faculty lounge. Those are the different places where she's actually lived. Then, before she entered high school, her mother actually moved out of Berkeley and into Montreal, Canada, which is where she stayed all throughout high school and started her first year of college there before she moved to Washington, D.C., Howard, where she went to college. Then she went to law school at San Francisco State, or University of Hastings, which is in San Francisco, again, close to Oakland, but not actually Oakland. It's across the bay. Before she finally graduated and got a job with the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, which is finally Oakland. So she's then in Oakland, but only for 3 years before she gets a job with Willie Brown, the Assembly Speaker Willie Brown, who she was dating at the time, who got a huge, $97,000 job in Sacramento to do some out of government. It doesn't matter. It was some type of government job. But again, she then moved to Sacramento, which is not Oakland. So she was in Oakland for only 3 years, way after college. She's not from Oakland in any real sense. And as someone who was born in Oakland, and I tell the story that when my first paying gig in Washington, D.C. was with a lobbying firm, and this is like at the height of the tech bubble. And so we go to these client meetings, and after one of the client meetings, one of the partners turns to me and goes, "Can't you just say you're from San Francisco? You're from Oakland. It's right next door. Just pretend." And I was offended. I'm like, "No, I'm from Oakland. I have pride. I'm not going to say I'm from a part of California that I'm not." And I guess for Kamala Harris, it's just different.
Why do you think she doesn't want to claim San Francisco as her home? Is that not politically expedient?
Well, I mean, is even San Francisco her home? I mean, I guess she did go to law school there, but she never lived there outside of law school. Most accurately, it's Berkeley. And the reason she doesn't want to say Berkeley is because Berkeley definitely carries a different connotation than Oakland. Berkeley is crazy, leftist, kind of more, shall we say, white, not black, than Oakland, which has a much more middle class, much more African-American feel than saying I'm from Berkeley.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.